Well, I think it's obvious. We need to create and maintain a business-friendly environment that will attract businesses. Well, there's a lot of businesses that are in other states that are relocating, and they all seem to be going around our state and not coming here. So when I look at that, I ask myself the question, why is that? Well, one thing is we don't have the proper tax environment. And our schools are not really top quality schools. And the regulations that come from the federal government and are allowed to occur in our state, they're stifling to business. So it's not just bringing people to the state, it's bringing industry with it. What I want to do is I want to see the personal income tax eliminated. I want it to go away. I want to see corporation taxes reduced or eliminated. It'll take some time to do this, but it can be done. Well, once that is done, we're on an even playing field then with the other states who don't have, for instance, a state income tax, who have a more business-friendly tax environment. We're going in that direction, but we're not going fast enough. And that's when I said, I talked about leadership. We have to have people that will lead, will stand up and stand on the principles that will benefit the community, that will benefit the taxpayers. So I would eliminate the state income tax, I would lower corporation tax, I would improve the quality of the schools, and I believe that would attract the industries that we need, the high-paying jobs.
I think the real thing we have to be concentrating is on high quality jobs, because when we focus on high quality jobs, we have to worry less about people coming on to public services. So in my district, we have a lot of high tech employers. You have Intels, you have a number of other companies like that. So one of the things I've done in the last 2 years is focusing on that is I sponsored a bill in the legislature that dealt with bringing data centers here. We'd had a slower period of growth here over the second half of a decade. And by bringing these high-tech employers here, I found that we'd been losing them. Arizona was one of the leaders in this area. Went out there, created the incentives, started bringing them here. It's great, and the way I structured it, I made it really great for our schools with regard to the property taxes. So the state lost a little bit of revenue for the short term so that we can have a bigger gain in the long term. So the other thing is that I was leading into is the schools. Schools are essential. Our K through 12 system here in the state, we need to be continuing to make improvements in the education. And I think when you look at education, you have to be focusing on the small things in the state that make a difference. Because I think, talking to voters, there's a distrust of government when we just throw money. And I don't believe you should be throwing money at a problem. So things that we've done in the past year is we've done reading by the 3rd grade, making sure all our kids can read in our schools, everything. You look at other programs here in the state where you see all-day kindergarten. So fortunately here, most of my district, they have all-day kindergarten here, offered like the Kyrene School District. So it's things like that we can be doing. But then you also have to be focusing on higher education. So we have a wonderful university here in the area, Arizona State University. But one of the things I've accomplished here in the last couple of years is we always want government to focus more like a business. So one of the things we looked at is how do we do that? So we challenged the universities to say, hey, how can you guys go perform? So business world, you get judged out there. So the university said they'd be judged that moving forward, they'd be judged on performance funding. So with that in mind, they said that there'd be a couple areas. One is graduating students in 5 years. Okay, and I got to get done pretty quickly here because I can explain. I learned. Thought I was going to be short here on these questions. So it's being judged on performance, bringing research dollars in, and that meant making sure that they all started out on a level playing field. So we did parity here. So all the universities starting on a level playing field. So between education through the K through 12, through the universities, holding down regulations here in the state, it all comes together. And I'm also proud of the work I've done to create the ACA down there so that we're reaching out to our businesses in the state as well as those businesses outside the state.